Good afternoon and good evening. Having an absolutely beautiful day. I'm so happy to be here with you on Spiritual Psychic TV to be able to offer readings to you tonight. As you may know, I am the Gray Strega. I am a spiritual tarot reader and counselor. I am also a writer and a poet. I am very happy to be here today to do life path readings for those who are joining us today. If you have found me, if you follow me on social, or if you'd like to follow me on social, you can find me on Gray Strega, Greystrega. You can find me daily on TikTok, where I do daily collective reads for our collective. Those are free and offered to the public daily. I am also available for private readings that you can book on my website, greystrega.com. I am so excited to be here with you all this evening and to share in these messages that we will be receiving. We are going to get started shortly. Just go ahead and submit your questions. I'll be able to do as many as I can in the time that we are permitted. I hope you guys are doing well today. Thank you guys for joining us. And why don't we get started? Just waiting for the first questions to come in. Welcome to everyone. As you may know, oh, excellent. We've got them coming in right now. Perfect. Hello there, Minty. How are you doing today? Can't wait to see your question. Hi there, Serendipity. Thank you so much as well for joining us this evening. How is everyone doing? Hello there, Millie. How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for being here. I am doing wonderful. Hello there, Carrie from Ontario. Welcome. Thank you again for joining us this evening. And welcome to everybody who. Hello there from Melbourne. Welcome, Sue. Thank you for joining us as well. So happy to be here tonight with you all. Thank you guys so much for sharing your time with us. Hello there, Kim. Thank you for joining us as well this evening. To be able to read for you today. Happy to do a reading for you right now, Minty, if you would like to give me your question and we will get started. And for anyone else who's interested in having a reading this evening, all you need to do is submit your question. And as I mentioned, we'll try to do as many as possible. Hi there, Marie. How are you doing tonight? Hope you are doing well. Thank you guys, everyone, for being here and sharing in these messages. All right, I am seeing here we've got a question for Bummy around a resolution surrounding a message. Can I please have 3 cards for Bummy, please? All right, I am seeing whatever this is, Boomy. I feel like there is a pause right now, but this pause does not feel like a finite situation or circumstance. One of the things I would like to bring up that we have been seeing in relation to communication right now is we are still coming out of this Mercury retrograde period. And even though that retrograde did stop or end on the 1st, we do find ourselves in this shadow period. What I'm getting here in terms of this is I am feeling like this is a pause point, but it is a pause point where there's a lot going on under the surface. Specifically, I am seeing that there's some other connection, energy connected to wherever this communication was being sent towards. I'm seeing here that there's something about the energy that received the message, processing it. And I'm almost getting a sense of someone who's really taking a lot of time and consideration as it relates to trying to be able to respond to it correctly. There's something about this energy or where you sent this message that requires a resolution that I see something that is coming through in relation to the fact that I'm noticing that something about this, it feels like it's a very vulnerable topic. It feels like there's something about this that has reached a point of vulnerability for someone. And that's what I'm actually seeing. There's something about this delay that I'm experiencing here, because I'm almost seeing that there's someone that is vacillating about how to respond and what to say, or if it's better not to leave or to leave something unsaid. I am seeing, though, in either circumstance, I feel like this is someone who is in the process of composing or coming through with some sort of response around this. I want you to be patient. One of the things that we're seeing right now is a lot of the energy that we've been seeing in my daily collective reads right now has almost been a moment and opportunity that has been requiring a lot of energy frequencies to try to expand healing to situations and circumstances due to the fact that they're almost trying to amplify the healing internally that they have been experiencing. Often when we hit these modalities, it can feel very difficult because it's almost that that moment, and I'm seeing here that there's something around this situation that I want you to embody about recognizing that I'm seeing that there's something about the way that you moved here that is amplifying the fact that there's something about this that required you to almost surrender the outcome in the process of being able to whatever this missive or this message was. I want you to continue to embody that modality here, because that is really articulating to me one of the breakthrough that's coming through in this moment is internal healing is something that is actually happening within you right now, regardless of the outcome of the energy. There will be a response here, but I feel like in a resolution you're finding is going to be one that's an internal pathway. Bottom of the deck on this message, and I do feel I need to stress, whoever energetically received this, it has had an impact. But I'm seeing that this did touch someone to their core. Bottom of the deck on this right now is, I feel like there's something even about this modality and moment right now that I'm experiencing, and I am feeling to a certain extent that there's some point of anxiety or a lack of confidence. I'm feeling like I'm almost getting here something about this message felt like you did it in inspiration. And now it's almost that moment of kind of taking that point of anticipation and looking at something and feeling that anxiety around it. I want you to remember, and I just keep getting this message coming through, this was not necessarily something that you did for the sake of a reactive point. I'm seeing here that this was a moment that was allowing healing or a centering of completion around a circumstance and situation. Maintain and hold that vibration, because I feel like that's almost going to allow you that point that I'm seeing here that is allowing this to be a point of closure around things right now. But that closure is almost that recognition in terms of the fact that I see that something about this is articulating about the fact that you moved in this fashion, more due to the fact that this is kind of who you are and what you embody right now. And something about that way that you're moving is almost amplifying how much progress you've made on your own healing journey. Thank you so much, Bummy, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it is very common for those who are here to also receive these messages. So thank you as well. As I mentioned, we are doing readings tonight. If you have a question and you'd like me to, I can in the time allotted. If you would like to follow me outside of this energy, you can also follow me on my social, Grace Strega, Greystrega. You can find me over on TikTok. Book a private reading. Hello there, Minty, and thank you. I love that you're asking me one of my favorite questions to answer for my collective, which is, what does Spirit want you to know? May I please have 3 cards for Minty, please, in relation to what they need to know right now? Thank you so much. Coming through right now. I need to stress there's something really, really important right now about your life path, Minty, that I want you to keep in mind. And I feel like this is going to be a cycle that you're on for the next 7 months or so. I am seeing that there are a lot of opportunities that you're going to be encountering in the next few months. I feel like there's been some kind of hurdle of completion that you reached prior to the start of this year. One of the things I need to stress, though, and this is why I need you not to be moving in a modality right now where you're just trying to grasp every kind of point of success that's coming towards you right now, is I want you, and Spirit is calling on you not to let all of those opportunities become a distraction point from what it is that you're actually trying to do. Because one of the things that I'm seeing here that is almost requiring a point of dual pathway period that you're coming into, that is showing me care and concentration on building some kind of new foundation for you. There's some kind of new structure that is coming into shape in your life. And I have to stress that if you've been seeing an uptick right now in a lot of possibilities and a lot of opportunities that are coming towards you, these are not coincidental things that are happening. One is almost necessitating and becoming a result of the other. That is why it is really, really important right now, rather than allowing that to be a point of anxiety, because I see here that there's something about this that is maybe even starting to feel like you're starting to feel that sense of overwhelm coming into some circumstances or situation. I need you, if you start to feel like that right now, really to slow it down. to recognize the things right now that are for you on your timeline, and they're going to work in tandem. They're going to work to help amplify and at the pace of whatever this is that you're truly trying to keep your own on. And so I have to stress that one of the things that I'm seeing that is going to feel like a bit of a shift for you this year is the fact that a lot of your path work right now is going to be much more centered around discernment. I don't want you to feel that anxiety about feeling like you're missing opportunities or you're missing opportunities, because when they start moving right now, I'm almost getting this vision of someone trying to like grab arrows out of the air. Having that ability right now to discern where and what you want to put your care, time, effort, and concentration on is going to almost shape the difference between that sense of uncertainty, feeling that sense of overwhelm versus allowing that experience from the past and a lot of that past experience right now to really shape a lot of care and consideration that you're putting as you move forward. Because I do see that there's a lot about this year that feels like a lot of breakthrough energy. You're moving through into new opportunities, new projects. There's something new here that's really coming into shape. And all of it is based very much on your intentionality and discernment going forward. Bottom of the deck, Four of Wands in its, this is more of that amplification that I'm saying right now. I want you to recognize, I don't want you to get frustrated right now if you're experiencing moments or modality thing or another. I want you to recognize that that's almost going to become a very important articulation point on your path right now. If you allow yourself to start getting overly focused on those feelings, opportunities, on those moments of feeling like you were a little bit short or a little bit delayed here, or feeling like a sense of frustration that one opportunity is almost requiring you a moment of having to say no to something else, I want you to remind yourself that that is the best possible problem. That is the best possible thing to be upset about, right? Having a moment and saying, I've got too many good things, which is making me have to say no to some things. We don't want to get that as a point of frustration. We almost want to allow, very grateful in the fact that I have this moment that I have to say no to something great because of something else that I need to move towards that is also or similarly great. And allowing your sense of personal navigation to be that point of recognizing, and let that be that assessment as to how you feel you're going, and let that be your success metric. Messages. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who are here to also receive these messages. So thank you. We are doing readings right now. I'm doing as many as we can in the time allotted. I am the Gray Strega. If you're just joining us outside of this network, you can find me at Gray Strega on Instagram and TikTok, GreyStrega. And you can book private readings with me on my website, graystrega.com. Hello there, Brenda. How are you doing today? All right, may I please get some information in relation to Brenda about how things should move right now as it relates to her professional opportunities? Thank you so much for giving me 3 cards. You know, Brenda, I'm seeing that there's something really important right now that, you know, I think it's something that's very interesting right now, because I'm seeing that there's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of outside pressure around you right now to move into that modality, but I'm not necessarily seeing that it's something that you feel is very appealing to you. I am almost getting this sense right now that a lot of this, like this concentration or this question in as it relates to whether you want to retire right now, isn't necessarily something that you feel so much a personal calling to do right now, so much as I'm feeling that it's almost that's starting to ask you this question and asking, you know, what your plans are. I'm almost getting a sense here too that I'm seeing that a lot of the energy around you is moving this modality. And I feel like this is almost like it's almost feeling like a little bit of a peer pressure situation here because I feel like there's something about this right now where it's not necessarily something that you yourself want to embark upon, but it's more of that feeling of the you almost feeling a sense or level of disappointment, feeling like you're missing out on them coming into this modality. Stress here, I think one of the things I'm seeing here, and I think that you're kind of recognizing this, is, and I'm getting here that there's something about this. It feels like you are someone who really has that point of enjoying to what you do. Like I'm seeing here that there's something that it feels like you've kind of like hit this rhythm that you're very much used to here. And I'm almost getting a sense that this feels like that, and I think that this is going to be the answer to the question here, because this is what I'm really, really seeing. That question, I feel like there's a moment here where you are so much in this, like it is something that you could just do into perpetuity. But the problem around it is more the fact that I even see here, it's that question about what comes after. It's that question about what you're going to do after. And I have to stress here, I'm not seeing that energetically here, I'm not seeing that you're the type of energy that's ever going to be fully comfortable not doing something. Like I'm seeing that to a certain, there's something here that it almost like articulates on like a need to like have something that you're able to put that point of focus and attention on, because I really feel like it's one of those moments that like, that movement of coming directly into like pure leisure here, I'm getting here, something around the fact that it's not necessarily for you. I'm even seeing that there's of opportunity. It hasn't so much felt like a point of pleasure so much as I'm getting here like a headache. It's like it feels like it creates a headache because there's some uncertainty about like how to proceed forward in this way. So I want you instead, I really think that the better question isn't necessarily what I'm seeing here, a question about some kind of energetic shift here that needs to occur. I'm seeing here that this is more art saying to me and speaking to me about something that feels like a into something that is going to kind of allow you to still have that sense of motion. It's going to almost allow that perpetual motion machine as it requires to you. You're a perpetual motion machine. You need something. When we see the energy that's in that perpetual motion machine, we can't just move it into a state of stasis, because again, it's not ever going to feel like a point of leisure, because you don't find that stasis one that like creates a lot of fun for you so much as it feels like a point of like frustration. So I want you instead to start to look about possibilities in terms of where you can shift your energy, because I do feel like there is some kind of change that's potentially occurring here, but it feels like a movement into something that like I'm getting here. It does feel like it gets easier. It's something that doesn't take as much, so much. It does allow for some point of easement, but at the same time, I am still seeing the fact that like this feels like it's something that like feels very similar to what you're doing now, but almost on an easier level. Bottom of the deck, I'm getting here, there's something about this feels like there's somewhere that you've wanted to go. This feels like there's somewhere energetically that you have a lot of friends and associates that travel to frequently. And I am seeing here that there is this like possibility there's more of a there's more there. I almost feel like that's where some of this energy that, again, if you're getting some of this outside encouragement, I almost feel like that energy is not just the fact that they're trying to encourage you like out of what you're doing right now. It's almost like they kind of want to encourage you there. I'm getting this like energy of someone like energetically beckoning someone. So if this is the case, I think that this is almost the solution to the problem. I want you to look at that location or that space or place and determine and see if there's something that you can do that might allow you to like shift there or move there while still having that level or degree of productivity that I see that you still need to, like, that I see is almost like part and parcel for your own energetic signature. Thank you so much for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. I am the Gray Strega. If you would like to have your question answered, just go ahead and put in the comment. Brenda, for having that reading with me. We are going to move forward right now. Hello there, Terry. How are you doing today? What do we have here? Spirit, any guidance? Love that. One of my favorite questions. Cards for Terry, please. Message from Spirit. 3 cards for Terry on guidance for the next few months, please. Thank you so much. What do we have here? Terry, I want you to be very easy with yourself right now. I want you to recognize, I'm seeing here that there's something coming through on this, that I feel like you're coming through some cycle of releasing grief, burden. I want you to be gentle with yourself right now. There's something here that I feel like you've been carrying, and I'm seeing here that you've been carrying it for at least the last 6 months or so. And I think that one of the things that you have to kind of recognize right now as it relates to any of these circumstances or situations is that the process of releasing grief is not linear. It takes time. And just because it's taking time, I'm seeing here, it doesn't mean that it's not occurring. I'm also getting something right now that is saying to me that there's something that is amplifying right now as it relates to being able to release something that has been causing you pain in this way, that is now feeling like it's like you're feeling of saying to yourself, I'm ready to do this. And I feel like I have to almost see, I'm recognizing something that feels very much akin to like a build-up moment. And I think that when we have these build-up moments, it's really, really important, because I want you to recognize, and I'm almost getting here that there's something that Spirit wants you to bear in mind, that even now, the way that you're spontaneous to some of the energy that's around you, but I'm getting here that degree of spontaneity, I'm kind of getting a message that says, if anyone feels like you're moving spontaneously right now, it's almost an amplification of someone who is either not listening to an issue or they weren't paying attention. Because I'm seeing here that there's something about this that feels like you've been doing a lot of path work in trying to have something come into a place of easement, trying to make something easier. And I'm getting difficulty, and recognizing this is sometimes what we need to do in these modalities, is almost that point of recognizing what is and is not in your capacity to amend, change, fix, or control. And I'm getting here that that is where I'm seeing that some of this, any of this feeling of frustrations coming through. And if you're feeling that, I want you to allow yourself to fully embody and experience it, because I feel like something that feels almost akin to you kind of pushing back on your own intuition, or something that you've been doing right now that's been push back on your own intuition. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because what I'm really seeing here is that moment where I feel like you've been trying to do a lot of work for someone else or for energy around you. And I feel like even at this moment, part of this release process is having that moment of recognizing and almost being able to forgive yourself, well, like almost washing your hands to a certain extent, because it's that in seeing and recognizing that a lot of this release process isn't due to a lack of effort on your part. It's more of about a moment of and recognition as it relates to what is in your power to change and adjust versus what just is simply too far beyond you. It almost requires bottom of the deck on this reading right now. And I feel like that journey, that holding that pain for so long is almost showing how far you were trying to go to make that point of amendment within the self, before, and recognizing that release is simply a moment that you've kind of, the ratio that you can invest yourself in without seeing that output coming back in turn. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now. I feel like a lot of this has also been amplified right now as a point of frustration in relation to a feeling or an anxiety about being in a moment of solitude. But I also want to articulate that one of the things that's really valuable and important, and why we always like to express, Spirit always wants us to know that we need to stretch our ability to enjoy solitude almost like a muscle. Some of us do not come into this world part and parcel with the ability to enjoy solitude. It is something we need to learn within ourselves. And I feel like I'm seeing here that the more that you're able to recognize that and almost look at it in a way that you're like teaching yourself to find that deeper enjoyment, to find enjoy your own solitude. It almost raises that gift, allows you to raise the value of your own time, effort, and energy, because it's that moment that you realize that that is a precious gift. And when you have a precious gift, you start to get much more discerning and much time you're willing to invest without seeing something back in kind. Thank you again, Terry, for having this reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who are here to also need these messages. So thank you for receiving your message as well. We are doing personal readings right now. If you're joining us, I am the Grace Strega. You can find me on social at Grace Strega, GreyStrega. I am daily TikTok. I do a daily collective read every morning for the collective if you'd like to join me there. And if you'd like to book a private reading, you can book one on my website, greystrega.com. We are going to continue right now. Next person on the list is Kathleen. Hello, Kathleen. Oh, I am so sorry for your loss, but I'm happy to see if I can get some messages from that energy. Can I please have 3 cards for Kathleen, please? Message and guidance. Oh, Kathleen, I want you to recognize, I'm seeing here something that's coming through energetically right now that is amplifying something that sometimes happens. I feel like when we cross over to spirit, we get a much more robust ability to see all the facets of another energy. And I have to say that I'm seeing something that's coming through in this message is one that's amplifying to me about the fact that there's someone who feels like their connection to you has just grown profoundly in the ability of crossing over, because I'm seeing here that when they were here on this plane, they could only see you from one facet. They could only see you. I'm getting here the facet of the child is what I'm getting. And I'm actually seeing here that there's something about when they crossed over, it's almost like I'm seeing here, it's like this moment or modality that came through where suddenly they could see all of these windows from all of these different directions, about how you are so much more than just that one view that they had of you. It's like I'm getting here, it's almost like a veil lifted, and everything became clearer to them. And I'm actually getting an expression here, and something that's coming through is they want you to know that I feel like there's something about this where I feel like they didn't have the ability to even see how, I feel like they had that care for you when they were here, but I almost feel like that level of care has amplified in the gift of being able to see not just that connection point that they had with you in their life, but seeing how much I'm getting here. And I keep getting service to others, because I'm seeing here that there's something about the fact that something that you do or the way that you move has touched and continues to touch so many other lives, that I just kind of get this sense that I feel like it almost like it took their breath away. And they're trying to amplify to you. I'm not sure if you work in any facility or capacity of healing, but they're almost trying to tell me that one of the things that they find so amazing is that I feel like you don't recognize how many people you have helped. I'm getting this message of you hearing you have no idea how, as you've moved through this world, all of the people that you've helped in all of these, I'm getting here in all of these capacities and with your work right now. And I want you to know that there's something about this energy that is staying very connected to you right now, because I feel like now it's like they feel like it's their mission to a certain extent to help you in that, to help you in that work, to help you continue forward in this way. And I'm getting here that something about this message that is coming through is a point of observation that's trying to tell you that they see now. I just getting, they see now. Like, I feel like they're saying they thought they knew here when they see and they really understand. And I feel like it's that amplification of the fact that they're doing everything in their power to help you continue forward in that role, and almost trying to extend that even further, energetically staying so close to you on the other side. Bottom of the deck on this message right now, I feel like there's been some moments, I feel like there was potentially some issues that were some things that weren't spoken of, or some things that weren't resolved between sense here about feeling like there were some questions or some things unsaid, or some anxieties that you feel about some of that. I want you to know that this is not energetically, they don't want you to carry any of that hurt. They don't want you to carry any of that concern. I feel I just keep getting like what, like water under the bridge. Like it's so unimportant. Like the power, like the connection between you. It's like I just keep getting like all, it feels like it's so, to them it is so small, and they want you to recognize that as well. So please hold on to that as well. And thank you for confirmation as it relates to volunteering with your church. Yes, thank you. That was definitely with you as you continue forward in that. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for being here and receiving these messages and for that confirmation. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to receive them. So thank you as well. We are doing personal readings. If you would like to join, just go ahead and put your question in the comment. Just joining us, I am the Grace Strega. I am a spiritual tarot reader who specializes in life path readings and working with the tarot. I hope you guys are having an absolutely beautiful evening. We are going to continue right now. Hello there, Reagan. How are you doing this evening? Can I please ask if you see things working my favor? I am so sorry that you had that accident, but let me see if I can find some information in relation to that. Please, may I have 3 cards for Reagan in relation to what they can expect going forward? We've got some through on this right now, so let me see what I can find. You know, I'm seeing here that there's something about this circumstance or situation that, you know, I have to see, I'm getting here something that I need to keep in mind. I feel like this is almost a process of release to a certain extent, because I'm seeing here that there's some kind of right now in relation to the fact that it feels like something about it's going to take time, is what I'm really seeing. Specifically, because I'm getting here something about this, it feels like there's some kind of disagreement here. There's something here that feels like you have to prove something to someone, or it feels like there's something about like someone having seen or observed something and almost trying to clarify and fix something. And I think that this is one of the problems around something here right now, is this feeling of something energetically that feels almost oppositional to having things. But it's not just the fact of something working in your favor. It feels very much like there's like energetically, or something energetically that feels acting as some kind of blocker here. You know, I have to stress, I'm getting here a sense that this is something that is going, the way that you're going to be able to have some point of success is really about patience. Because I'm seeing here that there's something energetically that's coming through on this in relation to someone trying to test or try your patience to a certain extent. So I'm getting here that the validation point, the way that you're going to be able to have things move in your favor, is almost being able to maintain of degree of patience around circumstances or situations. Because while I see that there's something here that ultimately there is going to be some kind of resolution on, I kind of get a sense that this feels like it's giving me a lot of energy of someone trying to like push something forward, like as far as possible or for as long as possible, which almost starts to become like more of a frustration, because it's not necessarily even the resolution of something that I see is coming through, so much as it starts feeling like a waiting game, or it feels like a moment of like seeing like how long or how patient you can be as it relates to seeing some kind of like restoration or resolution around a circumstance or situation. I need to express here that one of the things that's really important about this right now is, one, not letting yourself get triggered, and two, prioritizing your healing. And when I say prioritizing your, I want you to think about that healing, not just in any kind of physical way, but almost from any kind of emotional or energetic way. There's something about your guides are saying to me right now in relation to the fact that like there's almost something that feels like it is energetically or emotionally painful for you to have to like stay in this continuity stream on, due to the fact that like, you know, it's the fact that it's like, I'm almost getting here, the fact that something is energetically open, that feels like it's almost tapping your own strength and your own sense of like patience around circumstances or situations. So I want you to do everything out how much time, effort, energy, bandwidth, or emotional bandwidth you give to something like this, because I feel like the real point of success, at least like the real point of success from the spiritual perspective, is making sure that it doesn't consume your life, that this doesn't become like your like, you know, that this doesn't like override any of the other possibilities or opportunities that are coming towards you right now, because this is kind of like hanging, I guess, in the backdrop, if you will. So I want you to recognize that and realize that anything that you can do to allow that not to like overshadow you right now is actually what, like spiritually, your spirit team says that's the point of victory. So I want you to keep that in mind as well. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is, you know, I think that there's something about this right now, because I feel like it's something about this like hindered or limited your ability to travel right now. I don't know if this was something that resulted in a change of plan, if there's something here that like was inhibited upon because of the circumstances at play. So I actually feel like is going to be more like allowing a lot of this be fixed in the practical realm right now, I think is a good start, because I want you to like, I just keep seeing that there's something about this right now that feels like there's a completion of a cycle here that's potentially occurring. You're able to like facilitate, I'm getting here, the practical hurdles that are blocking you from being able to like allow this to be in the past. Like that's actually that point of success here. So doing everything you can to like address those practical hurdles right now, I think is actually going to help facilitate some of this. And again, I need to stress, I just keep getting the same message. Don't let yourself get triggered by this. Don't let yourself get triggered. I feel like there's something about this, something trying to pull you into the past, something that's trying to intentionally trigger you. It's requiring a lot of patience and effort. And I feel like it's going to continue to require a lot of patience and effort until you're able to put it behind you, until you're able to close that cycle or move away from it. So thank you for this as well, Reagan. And thank you if you've been receiving these messages as well. It's very common for those who are here to also receive these messages. Thank you again, Reagan, for that confirmation. I'm wishing you the best on your healing journey, and thank you for entrusting me with that reading. We are going to be taking a brief break, my friends, but I will be back shortly to be able to continue reading. So please stay tuned, and I'll talk to you in just a few minutes.
Introducing the SPTV app, your digital spiritual guide for an enlightening journey like no other. Immerse yourself in a world of audio and visual content crafted to inspire, educate, and entertain. Seek guidance with our card of the day, choosing up to 6 cards for personal insights. Enhance your daily life with our wellness section, featuring nutritious recipes, affirmations, and balanced living tips. Explore our spiritualism section for a deep understanding of the religion, its principles, and spiritual answers. Unravel the secrets of the clairs and broaden your spiritual horizon. Easily find local readers, therapists, centers, or churches with our comprehensive directory. Stay connected with live broadcasts, check our schedule, and get to know our insightful presenters. Delve into the meanings of angel numbers, crystals, and a comprehensive list of divination meanings. All of this and more Available for free on the SPTV app. Download now at sptv.uk/app and start your journey with your digital spiritual guide.
Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time as we welcome Paul Bannister for a captivating live interview and talk show, Spiritual Talk. Tune in for insightful discussions with special guests and live readings that promise to inspire and enlighten.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Glad to be back. As I mentioned, I'm the Grace Strega. If you're just joining us, we are doing personal readings today. I am a spiritual tarot reader that specializes in life path readings. We are going to continue. As I mentioned before, if you'd like to find me outside of this program, you can find me over on my social. I'm on TikTok, Instagram as Grace Strega, REYSTREGA. And I do daily collective readings there pretty much every. Also, if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, gracedraga.com. We are going to continue right now, though, on your readings. Next person on the list today is Anne. Hello there, Anne. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you as well for liking and sharing this feed. We are going to continue. I see here that you would like a romance reading, please. Can I please have 3 cards for Anne? Thank you so much. We've got 4 cards here. What we do. And I'm seeing there's somebody here. I don't know if you're already invested in this person. They're very close. They're, I mean, this is energy. So I feel like you may have already started some kind of correspondence or connection here, but I'm feeling here, this feels very much, and I need to stress this, I like whatever this energy is that's currently near you right now, because I feel like you can see, I'm seeing here that one of the things that's really important about this is I'm seeing that there's someone who is leading with a lot of emotionality. There's something here, and I need to stress that one of the things I want you to kind of keep in mind right now as it relates to energy, like the one that I'm seeing, is you're almost going to be able to recognize this energy because, and I need to stress, it doesn't feel like it is in a rush, and it feels like it is trying to plan for the future. These are like the 2 greenest of green flags that I'm recognizing here, so I want you to keep this in mind. This is giving me a lot of energy, and I have to stress, whatever this is, if you've already met this person or coming, there's something really important about the next 3 months specifically. The next 3 months, I feel like this is growing in some fashion or capacity, but I'm also recognizing that there's something really important here that talks a lot about planning. It talks a lot about planning. It talks about laying groundwork. This is what I like about this energy that I'm seeing near you right now, that feels like it is put something. And I want you to realize and recognize that if you're seeing this in this capacity, this is something I feel has a lot of capacity and room to grow into something very positive and productive going forward. I need to stress here. This isn't giving me firework energy. This isn't giving me explosive feelings, but I also want you to recognize that that is exactly why I like it for you so much, because this is giving me a lot of campfire energy. This is the kind of thing, like much like when we grow a fire, like we don't need a firework. It doesn't necessarily, may look really great, but it doesn't keep us warm. I'm seeing here that there's something about this slowness. There's something a lot about this process. I want you to really allow yourself to let yourself kind of like be patient with it, because I'm getting here that it's, for me, I'm kind of seeing that on top of this, there is some kind of energetic pull back toward situations and circumstances around you that may have felt more, if you will, more dramatic, okay? But I have to stress here that a lot of it also has a lot of grief attached to it. Right? It's giving me a lot of grief. It's giving me a lot of potential pain. And I feel that one of the things that's almost coming through is I do feel like there's some kind of amplification of a choice that's potentially coming through, even in this process of growing closer to someone here. And I really want you to focus right now, especially if this new energy you know, doesn't have that level of drama. I want you to ask yourself, like, is that like, is that an energetic shift that you're willing to embody right now? Because I do feel like there's something about this energy that feels very much like a change for you. And I'm getting here, there's almost a moment that there is this amplification of a choice coming through. And I think that more than anything, it's going to have to require you to kind of look at things and really ask yourself what it is that you really aspire and desire going forward. Because I get a sense here that something about this release process, it's not necessarily the fact that something isn't open and available to you, but I think that you're already kind of seeing that there's something attached to it that isn't, it doesn't feel like it's nourishing, is what I'm seeing. It feels like it's something that is captivating your attention, but it doesn't feel like it's nourishing you. And I want you to I keep getting that sense of nourishment really important, because I'm not seeing it from a tangible way. I'm getting this from a spiritual and emotional way. Like one of these energies, I really am getting like the difference between like a firework and a campfire. Like what feels like, what feels like it is creating that like sense of contentment, feels like it's creating that sense of balance. And I feel like even now, that's like why this is becoming very much a spiritual path for you. In that way, that level or degree of contentment that you're able to experience in partnership is almost a amplification of the benchmark, coming into alignment with like a new or different path. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now, I feel like there's something very interesting that's coming to how you are being seen or how you are being treated. I feel like, again, some of that energy that you're potentially moving away from in the past, I feel like it was more of a struggle in terms of having to kind of articulate and communicate to someone what you deserve, how you deserve to be treated. And I'm almost seeing here that this moment, a lot of this energetic shift that I'm seeing that's occurring around you right now is simply that moment or that opportunity that you're recognizing that this is how you are energetically shifting this for yourself at this moment, because it's simply that modality I feel like you're falling into right now that's almost amplifying the fact that you recognize that, if someone doesn't know how to treat you correctly, it's not your business to have to educate them on that. It's just that moment of having to accept that that is the way it is and almost allow yourself to move forward. And I'm seeing here that there's something about this right now, something that you're still energetically connected to, that you're almost hoping that someone will come forward and see you and view you in these optics. But I think that you'll also recognize that any energy that's able to do that level or degree of healing, when they're ready to do it, they're going to be the first ones to show you. It's if you were, so much as it is just that point of allowing yourself to release and to be your most vulnerable self, and recognize you in that capacity, and is going to celebrate you there. Thank you so much, Anne, for having that reading with. It's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. Welcome if you are just joining us. I am the Grace Strega. We are doing personal path for the collective tonight, and if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. Thank you again, Anne, for having that reading with me. We are going to continue right now. Just a reminder, if you would like reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. If you'd like to find me on social, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at graystrega, GREYSTREGA. We are going to continue right now. Hello this evening. General reading, absolutely. Can I please have 3 cards for Millie? We got more than 3 coming out. We got 5. We're going to read all of them because that's what we do. Getting down to business is what I'm seeing, Millie. I am getting here just something coming through right now that I feel like one of the hardest things about this right now, where I just see you turning down a lot of opportunity. Like, I have to stress here, this isn't turning down an opportunity or offer. This isn't that at all, because I see that it's more this sense that you're becoming a lot more discriminating and discerning as it relates to where you're putting your time, effort, and energy right now. You are doing something right now. I'm just getting something that's amplified, that you, for anything that feels like it is a waste of time. And I extent, there's a bit or a degree of like frivolity that you're just accepting that you're letting go of. This is really giving me a lot of energy of someone trying to create something right now, or trying to effect some really, really significant and important changes. Like there's path work here. There's a plan. I'm seeing here that there is a plan being put into motion. And I'm getting here, when I say plan, I mean, like, I'm seeing like something that feels like, if you haven't laid this plan out, I feel like in a way, even that is a part of this, is what I'm seeing. Because I'm just getting a sense right now. And I think that one of the things I'm seeing that's kind of creative is this feeling. I feel like it's coming through almost like as a sense of trying to play some catch up. This is feeling like, in a way, like there's something about this feels like it's coming. It's not just the fact that you're trying to grow something right now. I feel like you're trying to correct something. I feel like this is almost trying to find a sweet spot in something. It's giving me a lot of this energy of, and I have to stress, taking something down, like disassembling something so that you can grow it back up in the right way. A lot of the fact that some of this path that I see you on right now, and I want you to think about it like this. I really spirit seeing it. This is not anything that you're taking apart right now. That is not lost work. That is not lost work at all. That is what we call a learning curve. There's something that you've been going through right now that is a spiritual and energetic learning curve. And I think that you need if anything, I'm getting here a sense that you need to be a little bit more kind to yourself as you move in this way. Because what I'm really seeing here is, I feel to a certain degree like you're almost like going through this process of like, frustration. Seeing anything related to this that really articulates frustration so much as a need and a reminder here that I feel like getting here about trial and error. That again, I'm getting here failing better. Right? That again, recognizing that often that path to success I keep getting is not necessarily one that's always built. I have to stress, a benchmark is a benchmark. And sometimes when you're in it, a benchmark is simply doing something and figuring out the way that it doesn't work before you figure out the way that it does. And in a way, I want you to recognize and realize that right now, because that's really, I'm getting here, your perspective right now on that, and maintaining that sense of patience for yourself is going to be extremely vital and necessary to maintain the level of excitement and energy I feel that you need to bring to something right now as you cultivate it, instead of letting the amplification of the point of frustration bring you back downwards. This is giving me, like, literally at every moment, I want you to recognize when you start getting hard on yourself that there are two different ways you could be looking at something. You can either look at something at every moment and say, nothing is going the way that I want it to go, or saying, everything is moving in the direction I want it to. I just need to keep on adjusting and modifying and growing it in that way. That is the same thing happening from two different perspectives, and maintaining the perspective right now that you are growing. And when we grow something, it requires that sense of being a constant gardener, and a constant gardener doesn't get frustrated when the wheat, like when the grass isn't growing fast enough. They don't go tearing the seeds out of the ground. I want you to remember that. Think of this, what you're doing right now, as an act of cultivation and curation. And in that way, even when you're hitting these, like I'm getting here, these momentary pitfalls, I want you to realize and recognize that those aren't pitfalls. They're showing you a way that you need to adjust, that is going to inevitably lead to the way that it is going to work even better going forward. Be grateful and thankful for those tiny little failures, because those tiny little failures guide the way to that ultimate success. Because I do see that there's some kind of relaunch or rebrand or regrowth happening end of some 7-month cycle here, and I feel like it's going to be successful, but it all comes through this act of trial and error. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now, the next 5 months, I feel like you're in a moment right now that you're feeling some anxiety. You're feeling the sense of, again, this is why I'm articulating that it's really important. Your perception on things is key, where you feel like a little bit of this outside looking in. Remember, there's no getting in, because when you're creating something, you don't need to get in anywhere. You just need to build it. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Millie. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. Right now, Thank you so much, Millie, for confirmation. Anxiety about big changes coming. Again, remember, the only difference between anxiety and excitement is what pair of glasses you're having as you look at it. So try to take that anxiety and say, I'm not anxious. Say, I am very excited about the very excited about those big changes coming. And thank you again, Millie, for having that reading with me. As I mentioned, we are doing readings here today. If you're just joining us, I'm the Grey Strega. You can find me on social, Grey Strega, GreyStrega. I do daily free collective readings over on my TikTok, and a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, greystrega.com. Hello there, Kim. How are you doing today? Can I please get 3 cards for Kim in relation to how they can achieve their goal in 2024? One more card, please. Thank you so much. Oh, Kim. First things first, I'm getting here, a message is coming through about having to make some choices. And I'm seeing here, I feel like there's been a bit of this like holding your breath on some things right now. I feel like you've been holding your breath on pulling the trigger on something here. I feel like there's been something, and I don't think that this is necessarily a bad thing. I think you recognize, and I'm getting here a sense that whatever you've been holding on, you're doing so because I feel like there's an anxiety or a concern about doing something the wrong way. And I'm seeing here, and I have to stress that I feel like one of the things that's happening right now, you're in this modality right now where I feel like, and I think that this is why you need to take some of these steps forward, because like I'm getting here energetically, I've got some kind of guided message coming through for you right now, which is like often, you know, when we start getting in that modality where we start to hold and we start to tell ourselves like, I can't move forward until I have this, I can't move forward until I have that. There's a moment that's important, because it's that point of like recognizing that we are taking that time to like observe and obsess and not obsess, assess the best course of action, the best direction. But I'm also getting here a sense that some of that is starting to lean into a point of recognizing or feeling like, and I think like even now, it's like the pressure that's being put on you from like to move forward on this. I'm almost getting here spiritually. There's something that feels like there's like these little nudges that you're starting to get in the tangible. And I feel like those nudges are almost trying to show you in a certain way, that reminder, if you will, that if one leaves themselves open to just kind of inevitably wait until we have all of the information, we would never necessarily go forward, because there's never a finite moment I'm seeing here that really articulates the difference between like taking that point of assessing things versus taking action. And I feel like there's something I'm seeing here that's coming through right now, particularly in the next 3 months or so, where I just see that you're allowing oneself to follow your instinct, to follow your intuition, to allow those powers of observation to guide you forward, and recognizing that I see here that there is this observation point that I'm seeing about you being able to make modifications along the way. But I think that to a certain extent, there's something about this right now that feels like, and I think it's intriguing because I'm seeing here that there's something about your path right now that is just amplifying the fact that like you've been waiting on moving forward on some things right now. I'm seeing this. I feel like you've been very, very patient on something right now. And this is the moment, and I feel like this is really that point where you're giving yourself permission to move forward on something, regardless of the outside energy around you, specifically due to the fact that you've been so patient. And I'm getting here that one of the things that's happening around a situation or circumstance right now is the fact that you've been patient enough that it no longer feels like a point of patience. It feels like you're moving away from something that is now seeming more like it is blocking your path forward. And I want you to kind of recognize that. And I feel like the overarching message that's coming through for you right now, as it relates to the next few months, is the prioritization point. I'm getting here, you can't make up for lost time, and nothing is effectively lost. But one of the things that I'm seeing here that's really important is just recognizing the fact that, you know, you moving right now in a way that feels like it is in best interest of your own healing journey is the best direction for you, because I feel like this is that moment that is allowing you trusting your intuition and doing what's best for yourself, and recognizing that any of the energy around you that sees you moving in that capacity would also want that for you. Like that in a way is going to create that point of discernment, because this is feeling more and more like this is you kind of making these decisions and choices in relation to starting to heal from something that like created a disappointment moment, but that's based on the fact that it's almost, again, coming from a point of feeling like the difference between like waiting for something that you feel is going to come about versus waiting for something that you're now feeling is just trying to block you from going forward. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is, I want you to be very cognizant right now on making sure that you're getting what you give in terms of situations and circumstances. I'm not saying here, you have to bear in mind when we talk about this, like, you know, when we talk about spiritual or energetic exchange, if you will, it's not about tit for tat, but it's that moment of recognizing that what feels like it's energetically aligned to us, you know, our ability and desire to overgive to something, it should always be present, but recognizing that the energy that's truly for us would never want to see us in a modality wherein we feel like we're overgiving and not getting back in kind. And I feel like a lot of that recognizing and weighing of that ratio right now is almost that recognition point of your own ability and capacity to give is one that you have to utilize with a lot of discernment to make sure that it is being matched, and almost remembering that that is not due to a fact that you require that matching, but it almost is that point of observation in understanding the level and degree of empathy it requires to be able to discern the ability and desire to give back when someone is receiving that much from you is the reason why you have to utilize that energetic discernment, because you're someone who has that capacity to overgive, which is a gift. But when we have that gift, we have to be very mindful that we don't overextend ourselves into situations that aren't giving back in kind. Thank you so much, Kim, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very, very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. My friends, I believe we've reached the conclusion of the readings for today. I want to thank you all for spending your time with me this evening. Just a reminder, if you would like to find me, I do daily collective readings on TikTok. You can find me there, Grey Strega, GreyStrega. I am also on Instagram. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, greystrega.com. I want to thank you all for sharing your time and energy with me today. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of each other. And hopefully we'll do this again soon. Take care, everyone.